So, welcome to my channel. I'm going to try to start making stuff, and we'll see how I keep up with it. But today, what I'm going to be working on is I'm going to be modeling a car within a set time limit, or I already have. I'm recording the audio afterwards, or at least most of it. But anyway, let's get started. I'm using Fusion 360. So, first thing I do is make a freeform mesh, starting with a plane, and this is always like how I started. It's just take the plane, raise up a section that I want to be the main cabin of the car, and well, I'm recording this without a script, which I might not do for my later videos, if I choose to make more. But I just try to shape the top of the car. The flat plane will eventually become a better shapen body of the car. Now that the sides are extended down, it automatically makes wheel wells for itself. However, it's a very cartoony car shape that you might see in the background of a less detailed game, which is like a stylized choice, and that's not really what I wanted to do here. So I'm trying to make some changes to the model right now, but you'll see soon I'll realize that it's just too skinny in the front, so I'll have to make changes. And now I'm extending it out to make a more pointed car shape. And I'm figuring out, extending the base would look weird. Can I just widen it out? And really the thing is, I shouldn't have brought the top in before I brought the sides down. So, originally for that, I lowered the roof because I wanted a more sportier design. Originally I planned a less sporty thing, and maybe like a 50s coupe, but it ended up just working better with a lower top, like most of my designs. And yeah, that's pretty much the basic shape of the car, and then it just comes down to refining it, seeing what you want to do. What I'm choosing to do here is just trying to make the front smoother, trying to get rid of that weird flap shape, which I didn't really end up getting rid of. Then I want to go to the back and do one of the cutoff shapes. It's something that was made by a German engineer, I believe, before World War II, if I'm not mistaken, and then implemented by Carroll Shelby. And it has a way with aerodynamics. It's supposed to trick the air into thinking there's a teardrop shape, and so you have a streamlined back without it actually being streamlined. So, of course, my design is not actually aerodynamic, it's just all for looks. But it ends up looking pretty decent. So now, I wanted to straighten out the fenders. Where they come in, it looks a little weird with the wiggly lines, and that's pretty much the basic shape of my car that I'll keep through the rest of the video, about halfway through. And on my time limit here, I was a little over halfway. I ended up going over my original allotted time because I did not finish quite as fast as I predicted. And here, the wheel wells are just brought in straight from the car, extended down, and then the hole is filled. very simple process. If anybody actually watches this, which currently I'm doubtful of, but if you watch this and you're interested in any of my process, feel free to ask more questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And if there's anything like you really want to know, I can try to make something specifically on that, which we'll see. But here, I was trying to fill the bottom. This would have made a very curvy shape, which was interesting but not what I was trying to do. I was trying to fill the bottom though. That way it would make a solid shape when I exited the freeform mesh editor. Unfortunately, I ended up having to scrap that because it just caused too many problems. But here, what I would normally do is bring the windows in and then make it extend out so I could have backing behind the windows. You wouldn't see into the car, you would just see that little backing behind the windows. However, I realized this is a far too time-consuming process for the allotted time I gave myself. At this point in time, I still hadn't figured out exactly what I wanted the car to look like. And the front wasn't really satisfying me at the end. I was like, maybe I could add another top vent. That didn't look good. And so I was like, I'll just widen out the bottom and put lights in there. However, it probably would have looked better with lights higher up had I had time to make the backing for those so I could cut away points for the lights. Now, I'm sorry that my audio is really bad. I'll apologize for that now. I'm using a cheap quality mic, doing it in one take, because I have a limited amount of time to spend on this. Just like the product of the video, I did it in a limited amount of time. I hoped to do some others, but it's difficult to do longer videos just because of how much the video file takes. Here, we need to do some simple wheels. It's running out of time. Probably had about 10 minutes left in my original time. I ended up going over that by about 15 minutes. But here I was rushing to get the wheels out. So they're just simple circles with a bump out in the middle, which I could have admittedly made better ones in a shorter time. But they worked, they got the job done, and it was what it was. So there are the basic shapes of the wheels. Then I'll use the fillet tool to refine them. And that just rounds the corners of lines, in case you didn't know that. You probably did. But it will allow me to get a more tire-like shape, more accurate for a car. And you'll notice there's very little detail. The most detail I'm adding is here with the lights. I'm not adding a license plate or anything. No axles to the car. No brakes. I usually wouldn't add brakes anyway, but it is an option. I would also usually add mirrors. Mirrors are starting to go out, as you see with cars like the Cybertruck and other examples where they just have cameras. There's no need for mirrors. But they still can really add to the effect of a car. Just depends on what you're going for. And maybe that look that you want includes mirrors. Oftentimes it will help. Now I'm just rambling, but I hope you are enjoying the video so far. So here I'm just doing a quick texture, and it's very basic. I left the main body steel. I feel like that for curvy older style cars works very well, because you'd see those hammered aircraft like cars where they're handcrafted, probably round like this, and that was a style. These lights are pretty inspired by the original Nissan Z or Datsun Z, however you want to call it. See me quickly going to zoom. I will edit that out. Yeah. But then I get these different colors of lights for backup lights, brake lights, and turn signals. And I could put a license plate in the middle, but I chose not to, given my self-assigned time constraints. And then finding the materials is always difficult, just scrolling through all the different options. But then with the glass I realized, oh, you can see the lights within it, so I needed to do something about that. I actually didn't need to put anything in the front because it was only on the front faces of the lights rather than the whole body, so it didn't protrude into the car with the light. And there I have my finished thing. I will throw in some renders so you guys can see the final product that I completed in a total of around 57 minutes. So you can see some of the renders I decided to throw in, and of course, I hope you enjoyed this. It's a cliche thing to say, but if you like this, consider subscribing, consider giving it a like, and you know, I'll be putting out more stuff in the future, or at least I plan to be, so I hope you join for more content, and I will see you next time, hopefully.